Hey everyone, Jeremy here. It is Tuesday night, and we're going to create some art. It's going to be awesome. I think it's Tuesday night. Yep, double checking. Yep, it's Tuesday night. So what are we going to work on tonight? That's a great question. I was toying with the idea of doing a like a colorful horse, but with kind of like a twist. I have these really cheap oil pastel, like here, I'll go ahead and show them to you. I bought these like oil pastels like way back in the day. I'm not really sure like um, like how to use these. I've never really used them before. They're really cheap. I bought them at like Walmart for like $10, I think. Um, but I'm kind of curious if I can create a really cool picture out of them. So I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna take these oil pastels and I'm gonna mix them with the with some colored pencils for like some details. So that's it. That's the experiment tonight. Hopefully you guys are into that. If so, feel free to hang out in the chat. Otherwise, just hang out. It'll be cool. All right, let me go there. There you go. All right, so whenever I'm trying something and experimenting with something, I always like to go with a horse because I enjoy doing horses. And over the weekend, I went to like a gallery hop. You can catch that video if you want. It's the one I previously posted like just before this one. It's not hard to find. But there was a number of like horse pictures there, so I was really kind of inspired to do like a horse. But anyway, I've got these cheap oil pastels. I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it goes. Hey Kevin, how's it going? We got Rome Dog in here. Gonna try wet charcoal tonight. Oh yeah, I, I'm a big fan of wet charcoal. All right, so I'm gonna start off again. These are like I've tried to use these before. They seem kind of like crayons to me. There's a lot of people who like really enjoy um, oil pastels. I think they're using something other than this because this just seems like crayons to me. But that's okay. Like we can create pictures with crayons. It's fine. Um, I'm just kind of curious what different colors are going to look like on here. Yeah, we can get this working. All right. So anyway, hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Hopefully everybody's week has started off pretty good so far. You know, it being Tuesday, we're like right before the holidays already. Can you believe it? It's crazy. I've got people who are contacting me, wondering, like family, wondering what like the holiday plans are and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I haven't barely given that any thought at all. But yeah, that's right around the corner. It's like next week. Hey kid, how's it going? So I'm just kind of toying with some colors here. Pay no mind. I'm not sure I'm going to stick with any of these. I'm just kind of curious what these colors are. Because like I said, I mean, you can see that I've used these like once or something. I was not happy with them. So I may not be happy with them again. But my question tonight is whether or not they work well with colored pencils. That's my question. I assume they're going to because they kind of have the same consistency. Yeah. Yeah, I think colored pencils are going to work really well. All right, enough experimenting. I can get into my drawing now. Also, I should have mentioned I have a cold, like a little bit of a head cold. So if I sniffle and things like that, I apologize, but it is the byproduct of going out this weekend and having a good time. I think somebody gave it to me, probably my dad. But yeah, I've been nursing a cold. Mostly like coughs, but yeah, runny nose and stuff like that too. But I've got tissue. Fortunately, I haven't really had to go anywhere this week. I've just been super busy working, so I'm not being a spreader, so that's good. Yeah, we're on the cheap tonight. So these colored pencils, they're not cheap. They cost like they're Prismacolor. I think they're like $70 or something like that for a full set. But yeah, the oil pastels, I think they're $10. It was $10 for a set of 24. And what I what I hope to do tonight is use the oil pastel to like cover big areas of color, and then use the colored pencils to kind of like add detail. That's the idea, at least. I think it's a good strategy. Um, you know, I'm not planning on winning any awards with this picture. I just wanted to look cool. Um, you know, if I like this, if it works out, maybe I'll do more pictures in this style or like with this medium, these medii. What's the plural of mediums? Media? Yeah. All right. With these media, that doesn't sound right. In any case, colored pencils and oil pastels should work really well. The problem is there's a set of colored pastels. Sorry, not colored pastels. Oil pastels that I do want. Um, I forget who makes them, but they're really soft and they're almost like it's almost like using like um like icing on a cake or something like that. That's what I've seen other people do with them, and it's really cool. So at some point I'm gonna get some really nice oil pastels if I enjoy using them. Right now I'm just experimenting, getting some eyes in here real quick. Kind of went from having a pumpkin stuck on his head. Yeah, he got his hand stuck in the chair and he can't get it out. He's been drinking a lot lately. He's uh he's been hitting the booze. So for those of you who watched my gallery hop video the other day, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I want to do more videos like that where I'm actually, you know, going places, doing things, and taking you guys along with me. I think that'd be kind of cool. I don't get out a lot, so there's not like a lot to film, really. But you know, there are a bunch of galleries around, and especially up in Cincinnati, there's some museums and everything. I've always thought it'd be kind of cool to go up there and take some video. Again, when I say a colorful horse, I'm not trying to be like realistic on the colors. I'm just having fun. So it's unlikely that a horse would have neon green eyes in reality, but that's okay because I think this horse is going to have neon green eyes and it's going to be great. Hey, Carl, how's it going? I think it has been a while. Welcome to the show. Hopefully you're having a great week. All right, so I think I'm gonna go back to this color here and get some dark areas in. Excuse me. Like I said, I have been a little under the weather, so bear with me. Yeah, I'm gonna get some dark areas in. Um, these are not at all like the soft pastels, the chalky pastels that I'm used to using. Uh, Again, they're oil pastels. They feel like crayons to me. I don't know what actually is in these, but it has the feel of crayons. It's very I want to say waxy, but I don't even know. They feel waxy. That's why I think they pair really well with the colored pencils. But my fear was the last time I used these. Let's see, about right here, I think. The last time I used these, it came out really rough, but I think that's because I was using paper that had like really rough tooth on it. This is much smoother, so I think with some care and some blending and stuff like that, it might come out looking okay. But I also wanted like really nice colors as well. Like I've been doing so many black and white pictures lately. I wanted to give you guys some color to look at. Back driving over the road. Well, hopefully you're not watching them while you're driving. Um, we always caution our viewers to be safe. Now, it's fine to listen if you want, but if you want to watch while you're driving, I recommend I recommend waiting until later. Never. Um, like I do enjoy taking the internet with me on road trips. I remember back in the day how you'd have to make up things to pass the time. Is so much different now that you can just kind of like watch a movie or something like that while driving. It's kind of cool. Road trips have become, especially if somebody else is driving, road trips have become kind of a lot more bearable. Plus, I remember like having to navigate using a map, like actual paper maps and stuff. Like you would stop at a rest area not just to use the restroom, but also to pick up a map. Warhorse was drawing while driving yesterday. Oh no, through the mountains. That's not good. We do not recommend that on this show. I just want to throw that out there. The official Jeremy made art stance is do not drive and do art at the same time, especially if it's like something that requires your attention, like drawing. Um, I guess you can probably snap a picture or something, like if you're a photographer, but or sing. You can sing. So it's not like you can't practice art while driving, but so yeah, I mean, I actually kind of like these. Again, like $10, and look at all the color that comes out of this. It is kind of like a gigantic colored pencil. So hey, that's cool. Problem is, I kind of wonder if I can kind of. So I don't think this blends very well. That's what I didn't like about it. It's almost like wax. When you put it down, you can't like burnish it like you can with um, the colored pencils. So there are some limitations, I guess. But as far as like, okay, so here's the real thing. So like, if you spend $70 on colored pencils, I mean these Prismacolor pencils, which I do recommend. They're really nice. If you want a nice set of colored pencils, um, it is an investment to spend. And you don't have to get the full pack or something. You don't have to spend $70, but they are still expensive. If you don't want to waste all of your colored pencils, and you do want to put down like large areas of color fairly quickly, this is actually a pretty good way to stretch your colored pencils because like you could put most of your color down using these and then come back and add your detail with the colored pencils. That's the idea, at least. That's what I'm doing. Warhurst was driving while, yeah, not recommended, but he is a combat vet. Yeah, I guess a combat vet might have a little bit more um, multitasking while they're driving, kind of ability. I mean, honestly, like if you're a combat vet, do as long as you're not hurting somebody else. Like you don't want to get in an accident and hurt somebody else, but otherwise, combat vets can do whatever they want. As far as I'm concerned, they earned it. Speaking of combat vets, thank you for your service, Warhorse. It was Veterans Day last week, I think. I think that was last Monday. My dad's a veteran, so he likes to go around and get all the freebie stuff that they give out. Like there's a lot of places that give former soldiers like free stuff, like free meals, free haircuts, all kinds of stuff. Or says I call it drunk. Drunk is in drawing, driving. There you go. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. Drunk or drawn. Yeah, okay, drunk driving. There you go. That works. Honestly, these aren't bad. I don't know why I was afraid of using them before. They're like really smooth and creamy. It's almost like you are using. I don't know. It's almost like you're using. I mean, it's not like I have makeup or like it's not like I use makeup myself. Um, but I am aware of makeup. This feels like you're drawing with makeup. I mean, I use makeup like whenever I do Halloween stuff. Feels like you're drawing with makeup, like lipstick or something like that. Which some people do. Some people draw with lipstick. You draw with whatever you have. You think the cavemen back in the day didn't draw just because they couldn't get the right material? No, they picked up sticks and dirt and clay and they created art. I don't know what colors I'm gonna put in this. I'm just trying to get all the like shadow areas in first with like kind of a darker color, and then I don't really know how these layer. I guess I'm gonna have to experiment with that as well. But that's why I draw with horses. Whenever I want to experiment, this is mostly like it's not a learning channel for you guys because like I don't feel like I have a lot to teach you guys, but it is definitely a learning channel for me. I like to a smart person would practice before they go on live so that they don't make mistakes in real time with an audience. But that is not me. I am happy to make mistakes with you guys while doing a live stream because like I don't want to hide my mistakes. Let's find them out together. Find out what doesn't work, what does work. So far, I'm thinking, hey, this does kind of work. Art is or drawing at least is making marks on paper so that they kind of form some sort of recognizable thing. These are good for making marks. I'm pretty happy with them so far. I don't know how they're gonna blend though, or maybe I don't need to blend them. I don't know. They feel kind of chunky, but that's okay because I can come back with colored pencils and kind of round out some of the edges. But it is different than using my soft pastels. Soft pastels are easily blended. I can just kind of like run my finger, like if I went like this with soft pastels, I would create kind of like a cloudy kind of look. This just kind of, it's a lot like crayon and it's just kind of like, I don't know, leaving residue. So it's a little bit different. You have to, I guess, get used to it. And like I said, I don't know. Like higher price like oil pastels might not have these same problems. I don't know. I've never bought a set of quality pastels. I just saw these at Walmart and I'm like, I'll give it a shot. Hopefully I can make it through this broadcast without like just like I hate when I have a cold because it's just like leaks everywhere. I have allergies anyway, so it's like there's a fine line between allergies and having a cold in the middle of fall, which is where we're at because like my eyes would be all dried out and I'd have leaky faucets in my face anyway. Oh, that's looking cool. The color pencil, then brush um, acetone, and then final pass with watercolor super loose. Yeah, I mean that's a winning combination there. I had some acetone at one point. I wonder if acetone would work with this color pen or oil pastels. I keep forgetting what I'm using here. I wonder if I can just make like yeah. All right. I wanted to see if I can make like quick gestures with the oil pastel, and it does seem like I can. So what happens if I just kind of really press down? So away from the face, I feel a little more um, free to experiment here. So considering it's only $10, I don't feel like I have to conserve this at all. I can really press down hard and just kind of like not feel like I'm wasting my supplies here. Cool. Because I do want to have some like quick gestures as well, like I don't want it to all be super controlled. Well, I know for sure nobody's going to request this picture from me because it's going to have my snot germs all over it. So I kind of want to have like a little bit of a blaze here. So I need to like, even though it's white paper, I need to suggest that there's a blaze here. So I am kind of curious, can I just press this in? What if I use that blending stuff? So I feel like this kind of lifts it up a little bit. It it kind of blends it a little bit, but it still leaves this kind of almost etched kind of texture. So I guess with these cheap oil pastels, you can kind of use a blending stump, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It kind of looks like it's just kind of scraping off. That'd be kind of cool to like do a big picture and then kind of scrape away at it to like actually create your image. That would be kind of cool. Let's see. Close. Yeah, so anybody got any cool plans for the holidays? It is next week. Rum Dog's probably talked about this before, but I bet a white colored pencil or matching complementary color would work to blend and soften some of the crayon like the chunkiness of your big color areas. That's a let me try something here real quick. So I'm gonna take the white and I'm gonna try that exactly that and see how that works. So it does kind of smooth things out a little bit. So I'll try that, and then let me try the white colored pencil for the same thing. So it kind of works, but it's really just kind of like I don't know. With these cheap oil pastels, it's kind of just like moving it around. I mean, it's kind of working, but you have to. It's not working in the way that I would expect it to. Um, it's just kind of like moving things around. It still looks like crayon, but you know, you can make some cool stuff with crayon. Why not? I'm just black. So that's the other thing. It doesn't look like this really layers very well. So I'll have to keep that in mind. Got to work with the limitations you got, right? So it doesn't blend very well. It doesn't layer very well. But you can still kind of press in and go back over it with a colored pencil and kind of like get down into the paper. So you can still use your colored pencils over it. Yeah. So you can press through it and get your colored pencils up in there. So I like that. It makes a mess though. I'm gonna have to remember that like it does make a mess. But it is what it is. You can probably play with pushing pastel around with the pencil to make some pretty cool effects. Yeah, you know, it is almost like crayons. So there are some techniques that you can use for crayons that are pretty similar. Like you can like press through crayon as well to create some cool texture effects. You can do that with this as well. That's actually a technique that people do with colored pencils as well. You know, you can kind of like press through the wax that is on the paper. But I'll experiment some more after I get some basic colors up in here. I don't want to spend too much on the time on the finishing effects. I think when got got a bit more groundwork to put in here. And like Versa. So I prefer the soft pastels myself, just because I'm more used to using them and I like the texture of them. I like all that stuff. I don't feel like this is a fair assessment of oil pastels because, like I said, these are cheap. These are like $10 for a set of 24. So I can't say the quality is there. If this is how all oil pastels are, then I'm not a huge fan, personally. But I really don't think this is how all oil pastels are. I think this is what happens when you pay $10 for art supplies. Like I don't usually see any kind of like major issues with using cheap supplies. Like I don't know, I use like cheap watercolors sometimes. It still looks fine. I use cheap pencils, still looks fine. But these oil pastels, you can definitely tell that they're cheap. If you enjoy drawing with crayons, you will enjoy drawing with these. But it is good for like putting down quick areas of color. And it is kind of fun to get, once you get away from your subject, you can kind of like just chunk in areas and stuff. I do like that. Of course, I'm a little bit concerned because I don't think that I'm going to be able to go over that with some other colors. Let's go ahead and try that. Let's see what happens if I try to go over some of these areas that I've already put down color with some new color. So let's see if I add some green. Well, that kind of works, sort of. Yeah, this green is kind of crap, but it kind of works. Again, the whole goal is with the pastels to like dump lots of color down and then come back with the colored pencils and add your details if you can. I'm going to have some orange here. Paint thinner should work to well, maybe paint thinner might work with these. It is better than crayons, though. Most adults haven't tried to draw with crayons. I have. I've tried to draw with crayons, and it does not work very well. Um, Crayons work best when you're melting them. I've made some pretty interesting things with melted crayons. Like there's a term for it. Painting with wax. It's called encaustic painting. I've done some pretty neat things with that. Um, but beyond that, yeah, it's hard to like actually create something cool with crayons. And these are basically crayons. These cheap oil pastels. But we'll keep at it. We'll create something cool. pinkish colors. The problem is they do not layer well. That's strike one in my book. If they don't layer well, you can't really blend them. You can't create really cool art. Now I'm not too concerned about it because we've got other things that we can use to compensate for that. But that is strike one. So like if you do buy the oil pastels from Walmart that are only $10, you're going to struggle getting things to work right for sure. But we're resilient. We're going to make this work because the secret weapon is that we have the colored pencils at our disposal, and those do work well. So some of this stuff seems to layer just fine. Like this is, I guess it's just the color. Depends on the color. So like this really light pink doesn't come in very well, but this darker pink, yeah, it does. It just kind of goes. So some of these are more opaque than others. That's weird. So this kind of darker pink seems to work. Yeah, it goes right over that orange. Nice. See? Even though we don't know what to expect, we can make things work. But you know, like if you're doing like a big picture and you're kind of concerned about like you know, your art supplies and stuff and making you dollar stretch, why not? Get just get these $10 ones and make sure you practice beforehand though. Like I'm seeing that like some of this stuff isn't working the way I thought it would, and the other parts are. So like this color here, this kind of I don't know lavender thing is not really laying down very well. Sorry, but this darker pink, it really does, which is cool. I'll just make a kind of neat. So I'm gonna schedule my second co-op stream. Oh, you're gonna schedule it like you wait, you're gonna go on somebody else's stream? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just kidding. I think that's cool. I really need to do another co stream. That went really well. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, this pink is working out pretty well. So I'm wondering what happens now if I go over the pink with some more blue. Yeah. So some of these colors they do kind of blend pretty well. Like they seem to work well with each other, and then other ones don't. So like the lighter ones just don't seem to work. So that kind of works a little bit. But I can't smooth this stuff out with my fingers. That kind of bothers me a bit. All right, let's see what happens if I for this. This is really what I think works well. Is that if you use your use those oil pastels to put down like large swaths of color, and then you kind of come back over it with the colored pencil. I think that's really where you get realistic looks. So like even up in here where it's kind of a mess, I can come back with a purple colored pencil and kind of clean that up a little bit. There's like a plethora of color up in here. Like I don't know how much of it translates to camera, but it is kind of cool. It's like a taste of rainbow kind of look. But we talked about kind of smoothing it out. This seems to be working. I want to leave some white in here though because I want him to have a nice white blaze or her. I guess it could be a her horse. Her horse. Yeah, so I think I will do more not streams, but standalone videos in the future where I kind of just like drag you guys along with me. Um, because there's a bunch of murals around town too that I think would be kind of cool to show off. I showed off a couple in that video when I was doing the gallery hop. Some of my some of my favorite, but also the ones that were there. But there's a bunch more. There's something in Lexington called Prohibition, which is it's an art initiative, I guess is what you would call it. But it's basically a call to artists to create murals, and we have a bunch of murals around here in this town because of it, and they're all very cool. So maybe I'll take you guys for a walk, and we'll check out some of those sometime. Because I do enjoy that. I need to get like a GoPro so that it's not like a shaky cam, but I'll be mindful of the shakiness and stuff so that you guys don't get nauseous. Hey, Hater, how's it going? So we're trying to create a cool horse with cheap supplies. So we've got $10 oil pastels here, and we've got some colored pencils that we're using to compensate for how crappy those colored pencils are. I mean, how crappy those oil pastels are. I think it's working out. Never underestimate um, the capability you have for fixing mistakes. So like you can't avoid mistakes completely when you're creating art. The best you can do is hope to compensate and fix mistakes as you encounter them because they will be there. Like your pictures will have like an ugly phase. There will be things that just don't work the way you think they're gonna work, um, and you know you're gonna have to compensate for some of these issues. But that's what that's what art is largely. I uh, I think so at least. I need some way to get rid of this residue that these oil pastels are leaving on the paper, but it is what it is. So if you just pile a bunch of stuff on top of each other, it does eventually end up looking blended. Watch his dog. I want to schedule my third with you. Would you schedule anytime? Yeah, maybe sometime over the holidays or something. That'd be kind of cool. Hey, Coopart, how's it going? For those of you guys just joining, I am a little under the weather, so like if I sniffle and stuff like that, I do apologize. It is you know, it is that time of year. And the alternative is that I cancel my live stream, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure I came in and hung out with you guys anyway. I want to get this like little area through here kind of looking a little bit more sane before moving on to other parts, just because this does kind of look a little rough right now. Hey Lorraine, how's it going? Geppetto, no, Geppetto's not in jail. No, he got his hand stuck in the chair and he can't get it out. Yeah, he's been up to no good lately. He's been getting into my liquor. You know, He used to be so well behaved, but lately he's just been up to no good. I don't know why. I guess he's growing up. Kind of hard to keep him in check anymore. Be careful wiping this stuff off. So if you press down really hard, you can go through the layers of oil pastel and get down into the paper. So again, the idea is that you would use the oil pastel to create large areas of color, and then you would come back over it with the colored pencils. Yeah, he does have that look in his eyes. I mean, he just recently got eyes, like just in the last couple of months. I forget what month it was, but it wasn't that long ago. Yeah, that pink seems to go right over everything. So it's a kind of interesting. I'd have to go through and see which of these pastels do work well with others. I know that this lavender does not. Like this lavender does not go well over the other um, uh, colors. Kind of gets lost in the shuffle. But sometimes that happens. And this green does not go well over other things. It's not very opaque. That's the problem. I don't know if this darker green might be. Yeah, let me try that. Just out of curiosity. All right, yeah. So that kind of goes over. It's just weird how some of these are more opaque than others. I guess you just practice with your medium and see what works. But I do kind of like that anyways. I like this lighter green paired with the darker green. I'm just kind of like randomly choosing colors here and stuff. There's no like sense to any of this stuff. You want to stream Thursday and I'll set him up for Friday 5 to 7. Yeah, I mean we can do like a live stream together on Thursday. I don't mind. Make sure you send me an email and remind me so that I don't forget. Maybe I'll let you pick the theme this time. Last time it was comic book characters. So maybe you can pick I don't know, whatever you're into. I like to break these pastels so they're not like I don't know. I don't want them to feel like exactly like crayons. They do kind of feel like crayons though. Um, I think next week I'm gonna do a turkey, like actually paint a turkey for Thanksgiving. I think that'd be fun. I think I'm gonna do a coffee turkey. We'll see how that goes. But I think like a wild turkey in the coffee style that I still haven't finished the gopher that I was working on. Oftentimes I go to work on a picture and then I have to like set it to the side and then I forget to come back to it. I think that's pretty common for people who do art. Sometimes you're like possessed by an idea and you just want to see it through. And then other times it's like, well, okay, I was really into this at the start, and then I kind of lost interest a little bit. I have to come back to it at some point, but the original, like, motivation isn't there. So I have to deal with that, I think, on that picture. I think the Gopher looks pretty good. It's not my favorite coffee painting that I did. Not Gopher, Groundhog. I think they're different animals. I saw a bunch of groundhogs today when I was at the park. Geppetto is behaving exactly as I do, following a delightful Saturday night. There you go. Hater understands. So I guess these are better than crayons because crayons have like zero pigment in them. Like you're not going to get much color out of a crayon. I don't care. Like you could be a child Leonardo da Vinci or something. They're still not going to work for you as an adult. The one thing I don't like about this is all the residue. The residue is just like terrible. I don't know how like you would get that like I can go like this, but it's going to like leave marks. So I don't know what the proper way of dealing with that is. I'm gonna have to think about that. I mean, I guess you just press it into your paper and just use it. I guess. I don't know. Kind of working my way down the horse's face. I think this up here doesn't look that bad. I think it looks you know, there was a moment there where I was like, I don't know if this is gonna come together, but if you just keep layering and layering and layering colors, you know, it gets there eventually. Yeah, a little bit more of this. I really like this pink. This pink and those blues look really good together, I think. So I like that pink, and I see that pink, and I'm going to raise it colored pencil. So, I mean, you can get the oil pastels and the colored pencils working together pretty nicely, I think. I am kind of curious what a better set of colored or like oil pastels is going to like be like. I might invest in that just to see. Because right now I'm not super impressed with the oil pastels, but I do like what other people are able to create with the oil pastels. People who, well, they're probably better at it, like they're probably just better than me in general. But also, I think the quality of the material does matter, like the quality of the oil pastels that they're using. Because I saw a bunch of good portraits in particular done with oil pastels. So I don't want to give up on it just yet. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's no reason to give up on it. Obviously, you can use it to create like an interesting piece. It's just not. It's not like the soft pastels, which I prefer. Sorry. I just love switching colors. Cornucopia of colors. I think cornucopia is the right term. It being Thanksgiving and all. So I think other countries do celebrate things like Thanksgiving. I wonder how that works in other countries. Because I know that Thanksgiving is strictly like a U.S. holiday. Um, but I think other countries have like similar days, where they give back, they acknowledge the thanks in their lives, things that they're blessed with. So while Thanksgiving is a U.S. holiday, I don't think the sentiment behind Thanksgiving is exclusively the U.S. Oh, I like that actually. So yeah, I think colored pencils and these oil pastels, they seem to work really well together. So you can kind of like blend these edges here, and then I wonder if I can come back over. Yeah, so I can come back over the colored pencils if I wanted to. That's kind of neat. Colorful horsey. Yeah, like at that gallery hop, there was a number of horse pictures that I just really fell in love with. Like, there's so many different ways to draw or paint or just, represent horses. There's a couple of mainstays in like art, like when you go looking for things to to draw or like to be inspired by. Um, one is portraits, like the human body, the face, people in general. And then the other one, is just animals in general, but specifically horses. Horses are a great thing to draw. Hear me, please post a picture of Geppetto sitting at your Thanksgiving table. Oh, okay, I can do that. I love that idea. Actually, I would love if my email address is on the about tab. I would love to see everybody's holiday pictures in general. So like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and stuff like that. It'd be awesome if you guys share. Um, if anybody ever shares things with me, let me know whether or not it's okay for me to post to the community tab. Because like I feel like some of these pictures that get shared with me, other people would be interested in as well. So I'd love to share some of that stuff, but I don't want to do it without permission. So you guys let me know when you share things with me whether or not it's safe to post. But yeah, Geppetto at Thanksgiving, I think that'd be great. I'm happy to do that. Geppetto eats a lot. He looks really thin, but he eats a lot. He loves his food. It's a Taco Tuesday. He loves his tacos. Love the colors on this horse. Thank you. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm struggling with these oil pastels here, just because they leave such residue, and they're not working exactly the way I would want them to. But I think I think you can still make bad um, supplies work. As long as you can get colors out of them, you can make art work. You know, it may be a little bit more difficult than some of the other mediums that you're used to, but we can make these work. I mean, it's $10. $10 and you get all this color out of them. That's not a bad thing. You know, you could you could spend hours going back over these things with colored pencils and stuff and really blend them in. I don't think that there's any deal breaker in buying these. Yeah, no deal breaker at all. I mean, you know, $10. What $10 and save like a lot of the pigment from your colored pencils? That's a that's a deal. Because that's ultimately what it's about. It's about like how can I efficiently get like a lot of color down without wasting all my colored pencils. Because like eventually you'll end up with colored pencils like this, you know? If you relied solely on your colored pencils. Lorraine's like free Geppetto. He's not behind bars. He got his hand stuck in the chair. Thanks, Lorraine. I'm sorry I got a cold. It's terrible. Pretty sure I know when I got that cold too. I think I got the cold. There was this one gallery that we went to. Um, I don't want to call it out. Like I don't even remember the name of it to be honest. But it was like one room and like a bunch of people were like all crammed into that one room. And you know, you were like face to face with other people and stuff like that. I never liked that kind of stuff anyway. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where somebody gave me their cold. Somebody did. That's okay. That's what you know. Sharing is caring. People give me their cold. That's fine. That's part of life. Part of being human. You know you're human because you pick up other people's diseases. Bah. I just love like just grabbing colors and just putting it down, just seeing how it looks. Some of this stuff looks okay. Others do not. A little forceful there with the. I wish I could just blend this out, but that's not going to work. I know it's not. I need to stop thinking of it like soft pastels. Like soft pastels, I would just grab, you know, a little bit and just kind of smooth it around and stuff like that. I know that's not going to work though. I need to get over it. So this quick stuff that I'm doing here, I couldn't do that with the colored pencils alone. That's why these cheap oil pastels actually help out. You know, like I couldn't just get all this color down so quickly. Feed Geppetto. I mean, he does look like he needs some food. That is a fair assessment. He looks like he needs some food. But color pencils and oil pastels, that's a winning combination, I think. I like it. I guess I shouldn't complain about it being messy because like soft pastels are really messy too. Love this pink. This pink just seems to go over everything. This pink is like the most, like, I swear, this pink is basically like lipstick. It is so opaque. I think that's my major complaint. Like this is like not opaque at all. So if I try to use this, it's not going to work. And some of the other ones are like that as well. And then other ones, it's like super opaque. It just kind of covers over everything. Like this blue is basically just like if you put down the blue, it's just going to cover up whatever. I don't know if that's really a complaint though. It's just an observation. I have no complaints that actually at all. Like I should probably clarify that. I have no complaints over any of this stuff. I mean, it's only $10, so like you get what you pay for, and it's actually working surprisingly well for $10 oil pastels. Like to be able to get this much color on a paper. Yeah, this isn't like my best horse picture ever, but it doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I am kind of curious about something. So, like here in a few minutes, I'm going to try to do like some white um, gel pen over this. I am kind of curious how that works because I need to get some whiskers in there. So I already asked you guys. You guys got any special plans for Thanksgiving? I've got my brother. He lives in not Massachusetts, sorry, Maryland, and he's coming to visit. So that's kind of cool. He I've mentioned him before. He just had a kid a couple of years back, and it's so cool how I mean she's adorable, but she has completely changed his life. He used to be I don't know. We used to call him old man. Um, Even though he's younger than me, he's my younger brother. We used to call him an old man just because he was not. I don't think curmudgeon is the right word, but you know, at least cynical. And he's just changed so much over the last couple of years because of his daughter. He just seems so happy and optimistic and seems to be enjoying himself all the time. I think that's awesome. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of them for Thanksgiving. We don't have time. Oh, we're good. A little concerned getting down into the the muzzle, I guess. Like how long I had left. I'm gonna go with this. I do love drawing horses. I love horses. Oh, you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take you guys. I don't think I can do live streams remote. I'm gonna try that at some point, but I don't think it's gonna work very well. I'll give it a shot, but I'm worried about not having enough bandwidth to actually support like a live stream. But I'll give that a shot. But even if I can't do like a live stream, I am going to take you guys to a horse field, like a horse farm, and we're gonna draw a horse out in the field. That's what we're gonna do. I still have some like video footage as well of like past horse events and stuff like that. I still haven't posted it. So it's gonna be kind of weird because like here in the winter, while everybody else is dealing with snow, I'm gonna be posting video footage that I took back in spring. So hopefully that won't be too weird. I'll do like an intro just to kind of like let you guys know that it is kind of strange that I did I shot this video like in spring, and I'm just now getting around to posting it, but I think it'll still be fine. Jeremy, your father is vibrant and humorous individual. The first time I saw him in your videos, I felt a deep pain in my heart, leading to an emotional breakdown as I reminisced about my own dad, with whom I shared a friendship like bond. Yeah, my dad is awesome. He's up for anything. So like he just wants to hang around. So like I am one of three boys. So like my parents, they didn't have any girls. It's just me and my two brothers, and my dad, he's retired. He was career military, and he just wants to hang out with his kids, whenever he can. So like he's down for anything. Like I can drag him to whatever and put a camera in his face, and he's such a good sport about it. Um, and I'm kind of blessed for that, because like not everybody has parents, and those that do have parents, they don't have parents that are like as willing to participate like that. But he's a good sport. I really like hanging out with him. And what's kind of cool is in our family we have like kind of this multi-generational thing that surprises me. So not only is my dad, who's in his 70s, willing to hang out with us, and we're willing to hang out with him, my nephews, which like they're in their 30s, they're willing to hang out with us. So like just this generational thing where everybody's just I would have always thought that like my nephews wouldn't want to hang out with older people like us, like we're not cool enough to hang out with them. But no, they're happy to hang out with us, and my nieces and nephews both, and it's just kind of cool that like all these different generations just hang out with each other and get along and find different common things to talk about. Now, we don't always see eye to eye. You know, there was an election recently. I don't know if anybody heard about that, but yeah. So like me and my dad were like on opposite ends of like that spectrum, but we still get along, and it's kind of cool that we do, because like I feel like there's not enough of that in the world, where people set aside their differences and enjoy each other just for you know what people have to offer. So I'm very happy that I'm able to do that, and I'm able to do that with like a lot of my family as well. So like there's a even extended family and stuff like that. We don't always have the same interests and stuff, but we always get along. I've got I'm not I've said before, I'm not a particularly religious person. Most of my extended family actually is. So like most of my aunts and uncles and stuff, they're like, they go to church every day, and not every day, every week. They go to church every week and stuff, and they're, you know, I live in Kentucky, and we have the like a Noah's Ark replica in northern Kentucky. It's like a life size version of Noah's Ark. I'm not interested in that stuff myself, but whenever my aunts and stuff they show up, they love it. They want to go and check it out and all that stuff. So I'm happy to like point them in the right direction and everything. And yeah, I think it's kind of cool when people who aren't exactly the same, like in their viewpoints on things and stuff, still get along. And that's how it is. Um, I don't know how I got on that topic thinking about my dad, but yeah, my dad's pretty cool. Like I said, we don't always get along and stuff like that, but it's family, you know. And it's the same way with my brothers. My brothers, I don't always get along with them. They're adults, They got their own lives. They got their own things going on and stuff like that. Um, but we still get together. We still hang out at holidays, but more than that, we like hang out. Like we go kayaking together. We go camping together. Things like that. We hang out together. I mean, I've got friends that aren't family and stuff, but a lot of times I'm just hanging out with family. So not everybody has that kind of relationship with their families. So I recognize that I am lucky and I am appreciative of all of that. And even though they're a bunch of assholes and I wouldn't want them to know, I like my brothers and don't tell them shh because they're straight up assholes. Sometimes I'm just kidding. But no, we don't always see eye to eye. I'm the odd one out in my family. I'm the one that always has different points of view than everybody else. I'm just different than everybody else. I don't know how I ended up in this family, because I am different than everybody else. I don't know how that came to be or whatever, but it's all good. So I'm trying to push all this stuff down instead of like spreading it out. I think that's probably a good idea. I don't want to end up. I guess you can come back and erase some of these areas that are like kind of gunked up or whatever. You're truly fortunate to have an exceptional father. Thank you. I appreciate that. He's got a good sense of humor too. Um, like I feel like I can give him a hard time and he's not going to take it personally. Like uh, with the gallery hop and stuff. I ask him like what his opinion is on something. I know what his opinion is. It's going to be something where I just don't get it or something like that. And I think that's kind of funny. I think the generational thing is really what it's all about. My dad's from the generation that kind of came of age in the 70s. So, you know, they have a different way of looking at things than people my age or younger. What is it, baby boomers, I guess? My dad is definitely a baby boomer. He's on the tail end of being a baby boomer, I think. Um, like some of my older uncles, they are they are more properly baby boomers. My dad would be kind of on the younger side. He's a young well, he's the youngest male I think in his family, and like he has a bunch of siblings as well. So he has like seven siblings or six siblings. I think he's one of seven kids. So my aunts and uncles all together were seven, and I don't know if I should get too far into like family history because like I don't think that they would appreciate that too much, but they uh they weren't they weren't a very rich family. Uh, they grew up basically. So my granny, who was 80 something years old when she passed, she grew up in the Great Depression. She was born in 1930, and you know, by the time she had her kids, I guess in the 50s or whatever, they were I think they were living basically on like a work farm. They didn't have very much money, and there were seven kids, so it was a bit challenging for them. And people like my dad, he was lucky enough to go and join the military and stuff, and kind of like get out of that kind of lifestyle and everything. And I think some of my uncles they went that route as well. But it is kind of interesting. Like I'm only like two generations removed from like complete poverty. They grew up in Florida, a place called Homestead, which is around Miami. I'm not 100% sure where that is, but my dad's dad, his real dad, he died when my dad was 9 years old. So They grew up with a like a stepdad, I guess is the term or whatever. The stepdad is the only grandparent I knew on my dad's side, so I never knew my dad's dad really. And my grandfather on my dad's side just recently passed away, like this year, a couple of months back, and he was a character too. It's just kind of interesting. The you know like all the different personalities in the family, but they're all from down south. They they originated in Florida, but they settled around South Carolina. So most of my extended family is in South Carolina. You got a keys more. Oh, wow, great color palette. Thanks, from Dog. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm just having fun, kind of switching between colors here and stuff. This kind of, you know, it's not like I'm putting a lot of thought into it. It's just like I use one color and then I'm like, oh, I'm kind of bored of that color. I'm gonna switch to this other color. But I think all the colors work together. Um, yeah. So like, what was I saying? Oh yeah, my grandfather passed away this year, and it's kind of interesting because I went down for the funeral. It was just a couple of months back. Wasn't that far back, but all my cousins, they're all the same people and stuff like that. And I try to get down there for Christmas sometimes, but I don't always make it. But it doesn't matter because like years can go by and stuff, and we just pick up where we left off. So even my cousins, I've got great relationships with them. We kind of all grew up together a little bit. Um, Two of my cousins are my same age, so we uh we actually went to kindergarten and I think first grade together, even though we live in totally different states now. So shout out to Brian and Kelsey. But yeah, I can go years without seeing any of them and stuff, and just pick up where I left off whenever I do. It's kind of a cool family dynamic. But I don't know. Other than blood, we don't have a lot in common. I have to get on their level and talk about the things that they're interested in stuff whenever I'm around them, because like I don't know, I have to remember that we live like basically different lives. They A lot of them live in like rural South Carolina, like, and I'm talking about like rural South Carolina. There's a little town in South Carolina called Newberry. That's where most of my family's from. It's a really tiny little town, and if you think that sounds like Mayberry, you're right. It sounds exactly like Mayberry. It's this tiny little town, and some of my cousins, they've gone places and stuff like that, but they basically lived in that town their entire lives. And, they're great people, but I would get kind of bored of that. Now, don't get me wrong; they travel and stuff like that, so it's not like they're stuck there. But I don't even know if I could. I don't even know if I could live there for like a year, much less my entire life. That would suck. It's such a small town. It's the type of town that the big thing to do on the weekends is you know pull up in your muscle car and hang out in the Walmart parking lot. They still do that kind of stuff down there. Hater says, if you're experiencing a runny nose, Jeremy, it may be due to rhinitis, allergies, or the flu. I have a cold. Yeah, I picked it up this week. I haven't gotten over it yet. Appreciate the advice there, but yeah, it's just a cold, just kind of cold. I do have all of the other things that you mentioned, like allergies and stuff like that. I get those as well, but this one's a cold. It seems to be worse at night. Like during the daytime, it kind of pretty much goes away. And then at night when I'm trying to talk and stuff, I've got a little scratch in the back of my throat. It's a little hard to manage, but as soon as I get off the stream and stuff, it's all gonna clear up. It's only because I'm doing this live stream. Hey, Alan K, how's it going? You should draw a horse whilst riding a horse. Only then will I be impressed. I could do that. I can do that because I have friends, and I have friends that own horses, and they are always telling me that I can come out and ride their horse. So in theory, I could drive. I can draw a horse while riding a horse. Now, I don't think that the horse is going to be that patient with me. Uh, so the picture of the horse is probably going to turn out terrible, and the ride is probably going to be terrible. But all that said, I can definitely pull that off. I can do that. If that's what you guys want to see, if that's what'll make me YouTube famous, I will do that. Yeah, yeah, I've got some super cool friends that own horses, so they said that I can borrow them anytime that I want. The cool thing is like, when you draw pictures and stuff, you get to trade your pictures for other stuff. So like you can draw their horse for them and then they let you ride their horse. I don't go riding horses as much as I probably could. Last time I went riding horses, I think was 2019. It's been a little while, but yeah, I probably could anytime I want. So if that's what it takes, if that's what it takes for people to watch my stream, I will do it. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the viewers that I do get. Um, I know that you guys have like a lot of options in viewing experiences. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me while my nose is leaking all over the paper and I'm drawing a colorful horse with cheap oil pastels that I picked up at Walmart and colored pencils. He says. So I do think that this technique works. So like it is again, we're using cheap oil pastels here. And the idea is by using cheap oil pastels, we're conserving our expensive colored pencils. So these colored pencils by Prismacolor, they're not that cheap. You can get a decent set for decent amount of money, but if you want like the full set, we are talking close to $100. So they're not. I mean, $100 maybe that's not that much for some people, but for me, I don't like to waste my art supplies. So by using the oil pastels with the colored pencils, you can kind of like create something cool without wasting all of your expensive art supplies. If that makes sense. And I think this goes pretty quickly too, and that's the other bonus. So like if you were to do this just in colored pencils, right? So that's what we're kind of contrasting this to. We're contrasting this to using colored pencils by themselves, right? So like if you were trying to do this just in colored pencils, you not only are going to waste a lot of colored pencils, but also it's going to take you longer than being able to put down like these large swaths of oil pastels. So like if I want to fill in like this area up here, just grab my oil pastels. It's kind of like trying the same things that I do with the pastel pencils and the soft pastel sticks, but I'm trying to do it with these colored pencils and oil pastels instead. I am surprised that this pink just goes right over the other colors. It's basically lipstick, but that's cool though. It works. So if you want to fill in some areas and stuff, just go over it with this pink. By the way, this is called Simply. Yeah, this is a Simply brand oil pastels that you get at Walmart. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I paid $10 for this stuff. And it's for a 24 set color set. So it's not much, not much at all. So for artists on a budget. But what's cool is once you get all your basic color down, and then it is just going back over it like I am now and just doing touch ups. Just trying to clean things up, because like it is pretty rough using these using these oil pastels. They basically are crayons. Now the next project that I have to try is what happens if you use colored pencils with just straight up crayons, because I do have I have a crap ton of crayons. Um, I don't know where I ended up with them all, but I have this big gigantic bucket of crayons. Meow dog, meow mix. But they do the color pencils do blend well with these oil pastels. I was a little concerned about that at first, but now that we've got so many layers. And the other thing is, I'm not using any special paper here. So with the soft pastels, you have to use a paper with a lot of tooth to it to pick up that soft pastel. That is not the case here. So with these, um, it's pretty smooth as far as the texture of the paper goes, and that's fine because like most of it is like I'm actually digging through the wax of the I guess I assume it's wax. I don't know what makes up these oil pastels, to be honest. If anybody does know, let me know. But I mean, I'm gonna call it wax because it feels like wax. You're digging through that wax to lay down the colored pencil. Again, sorry about the sniffles. It's just the way it is. All right, so let's see. What am I missing here? All right, so now I'm kind of curious. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm guessing this is probably going to clog up, but I wanted to put down some whiskers. So I don't know if this is going to work. I guess if I go slow, yeah, if I go slow, this works. Cool. Painful how slow I have to go here, but I don't want to clog up my gel pen. But you can, I guess alternatively, you can use like a toothpick or something and try to like dig through the layers of wax and colored pencils and stuff like that here, but I think this is fine. As long as you're careful and don't clog up your gel pen. So you don't want to press down too hard. You just kind of want to glide over things. Yeah, I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on this. I just want to get a few little short hairs in there. Jeremy been hanging out with a party bear and cocaine bear. Yeah. So I love that movie, by the way, Cocaine Bear. Uh, It is actually a true story, and the actual cocaine bear is here in Kentucky. I might have mentioned that before. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll go down and draw a cocaine bear at some point. But I love the story of Cocaine Bear. I really do. But yeah, he is in Kentucky. Um, he is a real bear that died from eating a bunch of cocaine, and he is on display at the Kentucky Fun Mall. And they drag him out every now and then for other things like I've seen him at Comic Con. He is at the movie premiere for Cocaine Bear, so he does make his rounds. I think that's probably good enough, and then maybe get some little white coming off the eyes here. I probably need to buy some more gel pens. It's been a while. I could do this in other ways too. I can use like paint or something like that to put this white overlay in. And then probably theoretically you would want some lines up here and stuff like that, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think this is looking pretty good, actually. Yeah, I think I'm probably actually going to wrap this up soon because I think it's looking pretty good. There was too much blue through there. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit of orange. So it's kind of cool. You can go over this stuff and kind of like just basically redirect it in terms of color. I like that. That's kind of cool. So you end up with all this residue. I think that probably, for lack of a better way, I'm just gonna press all this stuff in. Like maybe there's like a little roller I can take over this later and really press that in because you end up with like a bunch of residue, and that's the only thing that I don't like about this. But no, I think this looks pretty good. All right, so I think I'm gonna probably wrap this up soon, just because my face is still leaking all over the place, and it probably isn't that photogenic. But you guys have been really, really nice tonight. Appreciate it. So I guess yeah, I guess I can go over some of this stuff and just make it darker with this black. I think this was a pretty cool experiment to uh to use the cheap oil pastels. So again, I would love to know what using proper oil pastels is like, because I feel like I would be a fan of the medium if I was using um, some better quality oil pastels. So like yeah, so all right, you know, a few people do watch this show, so I will ask you guys, not necessarily the people who's in the chat right now because you guys may not have the experience with it, but if there's somebody out there who does, if there's somebody out there who has tried the cheap oil pastels that you can pick up at Walmart for like $10, and then you've also tried the really nice, I forget the name brand of the oil pastels that I'd like to try, but if you've tried really high quality oil pastels and you've also tried the cheap ones, if you can like leave a comment below about what you think about them and just kind of let me know if it's worthwhile to buy the really nice set or if you think I'm going to like not like those either. And it's not like I don't like these. I just feel that they're limited. Like I feel like I have to use them in a particular way, which is kind of a little bit sad to me. he said, I'm just now starting out with W, uh, WR charcoal. Oh, wet charcoal. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, give that a shot. Let me know what you think. I like wet charcoal. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, this is not bad. I kind of like using these oil pastels with the colored pencils. I don't I so I should probably clarify. I would not enjoy this at all if I didn't have those colored pencils. I feel like the colored pencils they're doing the heavy work here. But that said, them together I actually really like. And it's not a bad thing that the colored pencils are doing most of the heavy lifting here. That's just sometimes that's the way it is. Lorraine says, I think it looks beautiful. Thank you, Lorraine. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like there's a few areas that I can probably do some touch up on, but for the most part, I think I'm pretty happy. I'm happy enough with it considering my face is leaking. He's kind of cute. Turned out better than I thought it was going to at the beginning. I was a little concerned there. For those of you who stuck it out, I appreciate it. For those of you who gave up, thinking I wasn't going to be able to pull it off, haha. I think that we have a very nice horse here. All right. So, yeah, so since my face is leaking all over the place, I'm going to go ahead and call this done. We're at the hour and 30 something minute mark anyway, so this is usually when I kind of wrap it up. So I actually think I would go an extra step here and go full mixed media on this. So right now we're using the cheap $10 oil pastels. They're made by the brand is Simply. They're from Walmart. Super cheap. You can probably pick up like super cheap oil pastels like anywhere. You can probably get them from you know Hobby Lobby or whatever. But that combined with the colored pencils, I think really creates like an interesting picture. Like this still looks very cool, right? I think I would go one step further, and I would also introduce some watercolor, like cheap watercolor, just so that I can kind of fill in some of these areas and stuff because this does kind of like look a little rough on the outsides. I could probably done better with that, but on this particular picture, I would probably fill in some of that area with some like watercolor, just to uh, just to create like some more interesting effects in what you can get out of the oil pastels. So just to kind of give a review, I guess they feel like crayons. They really feel like crayons, and they work like crayons. Basically, if you are happy using crayons, if you're an adult and you want to use crayons, this is a good substitute. Get some cheap oil pastels. They work like crayons. Um, the the unfortunate side is that some of these are pretty opaque. Like this pink, this turned out to be like I could probably just do pink right over this and it'll still show up like yeah. So it's like super opaque. It shows up just fine. This other stuff, some of these they do not. Like this one didn't. Um, it was very like you don't even see me using that color in here just because like the pigment is lost on it. It's so transparent. Um, so if I were to give a review, I would say that it kind of works together, um, but also it's a bit of a struggle. You're gonna have to take your time with it. I do want to try something else. I want to see what happens if I just kind of come in. Yeah, all right, cool. So you can also come in and just kind of like lift some of this up, you know, where you kind of like so like I'm using the end of a paintbrush here just to kind of carve into this stuff. You can do that, just like you could with crayon, and create some, like some hair and stuff like that if you wanted to. So you're basically carving away your pigment, which I think is kind of cool. So anyway, it's a fun experiment. So if you're on a budget, you only have like a little bit of money, go ahead and try these oil pastels from Walmart, $10. Uh, if nothing else, they're going to save you a lot of your colored pencils. So like your colored pencils, they're a little bit expensive, especially if you get the Prismacolor. So you want to like be a little bit sparing with those. You can use the oil pastels. Now that said, if there is anybody out there in internet land that has really nice oil pastels and also have tried these really shitty ones, please let me know what the differences are. See if like I would like to know if it's worthwhile for me to go ahead and invest in a nice set of oil pastels because I'm on the fence. I think I would enjoy them, but then also I think like, well, maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I'm very much into soft pastels. I feel like I would enjoy doing oil pastels, but I'm not really sure. So you guys let me know. Drop a comment below and just let me know how it goes. Um, Rum Dog says, I've got ideas for you to work, Jeremy. Portrait of a dog. And for me, I like the freestyle approach. That Larry was one hell of fun. I welcome suggestions, one of Bear or Guinness or both. Yeah, so I'll be back on Thursday with Rome Dog. It sounds like we're gonna do like a co-host show like we had before, and it sounds like we're gonna be doing some dogs. So that sounds great. So I'll see you guys then. Ellen K says watching Jeremy paint is better than watching disclosure interviews or any other alternative. Thanks. That's a ringing endorsement. I appreciate that, Alan. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna let you guys go because I am nursing a cold, if you can't tell, and my face is leaking all over the place. So I had fun. Hopefully you guys did as well. I will be back on Thursday. And thanks, Larry, and I appreciate that. And it sounds like I'm going to be co-hosting with Rome Dog, and we've done that before. It was a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to that. So I'll see you guys Thursday. Have a good time. See you later. Bye. Thanks.